The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia was built in the early 1850s to address the growing number of people that needed inpatient mental health care. The goals for the asylum were ambitious. It was intended to be a state-of-the-art, high-quality facility that was self-sustaining. The plans included a farm, dairy, water supply, and a cemetery. All were located on the grounds of the hospital. It seemed to be a great leap forward in the treatment of mental health patients. Of course, back then, no one used the phrase mental health. Words such as lunatic and insane were commonly used for patients with psychiatric issues ranging from what now is called schizophrenia to more questionable diagnoses such as female hysteria, asthma, and even laziness. Unfortunately, treatments at that time were often ineffective and just as often inhumane. Because of the loose definition of what was defined as insane, by 1880 there were 717 patients in the asylum, which had been designed to hold only 200. By 1938, the population rose to 1,661, but the peak number of patients didn't come until the 1950s, where 2,600 people were housed in overcrowded conditions. Throughout the 1900s, the Charleston Gazette published reports exposing the terrible conditions within the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. In 1949, the newspaper printed that the asylum looked like a hog pen and smelled even worse. Due to severe overcrowding issues at all mental health hospitals in West Virginia during the 1950s, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum participated in a new project designed to help reduce patient populations. The asylum, which by this time had been renamed to the more neutral Weston State Hospital, was home to the West Virginia Lobotomy Project in the early 1950s. In 1935, Portuguese neurologist Egas Moniz pioneered a radical form of brain surgery designed to reduce anxiety and mood disturbances in otherwise untreatable patients. American neurologist Walter Freeman adopted the procedure, which he renamed lobotomy, for use in the United States. Over the next decade, Freeman, along with another surgeon, performed hundreds of lobotomy procedures. In 1946, Freeman created a new surgery called the transorbital lobotomy. This technique involved entering the brain from the front by inserting an orbitoclast, otherwise known as an ice pick, under the upper eyelid, wrapping it sharply with a mallet to break through the skull into the brain cavity. Moving the pick back and forth was thought to sever the connections between the thinking and emotional areas of the brain. Freeman believed his new procedure was a way to treat more patients quickly and allow them to return home, thereby reducing the overcrowding of the state mental institutions. The procedure did result in a more docile patient, but the resulting brain damage was irreversible and led to outcomes such as the inability to experience emotion and personality changes. The procedure was eventually discontinued due to the catastrophic outcomes for patients. But before it was over, 900 patients were lobotomized at the 4 West Virginia state mental hospitals. Many of the patients never consented to the surgery. By 1985, the Charleston Gazette's continued reporting on the asylum revealed that the hospital was dirty and unkempt, and the patients were naked and confined to dirty wards with bathrooms smeared with feces. Other reports revealed that the asylum held epileptics, alcoholics, drug addicts, and mental defectives among its population. So it seems that some of the patients were probably not suited for a treatment at a mental hospital. The Charleston Gazette reporting resulted in a movement to close down the hospital, but the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was not shut down until 1994. The lack of proper care and sanitation, along with the dubious medical treatments, led to a large number of deaths at the hospital. Although no one truly knows how many patients died, a conservative estimate is somewhere between 400 and 500. There are those that say the people that died at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum have not rested easily. Most were buried in the cemetery on the hospital grounds. Sadly, the cemetery is the only part of the asylum that was never overcrowded since it always had ample room for expansion. Visitors to the now abandoned asylum report that ghostly figures are seen walking through the hospital rooms at night. It isn't hard to imagine why people that were tormented during their time at the asylum would continue to wander the hospital grounds looking for peace. People have also seen balls of light passing through the darkened hallways. The most famous ghost is a young girl named Lily, a patient who died of pneumonia at 9 years of age. Her room on the 4th floor of the hospital is still filled with toys, as if she's waiting for someone to come and play with her. The toys reportedly move by themselves, and a music box randomly turns on and off. While paranormal skeptics deny these reports, there is no doubt that the patients treated at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum experienced horrific abuse and trauma. There are those that believe that trauma produces an energy that continues on long after death. So is it really unreasonable to believe that the spirits of those that died there would continue to seek escape from their torment? Maybe not.